cool. Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? How y'all doing? I got my bros with me. Kenan just stopped away. He stepped away to get his computer. Man, what a day. Hey, as you can see, we got Stock Mo down there. And Stock Mo, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people that don't know you and take it from there.
I just want to say thanks a lot, Larry, for having me on again. I love being back here with you and Kenan. It is my family from another family. And I got to tell you, every time we're here, we bring a lot of nuggets of truth. We can help people. And just being a part of this positive community with you two, it's the best Thanksgiving gift I can get is the friendship of you two. So I'll start out with that. I always like to look at the positives in my life, and you two have definitely been that. So people watching this right now, understand this. We got a lot of information to cover today, and it is good information. Finally, Uncle Jay Powell came to Thanksgiving and actually brought something besides, we'll say,
interest rate hikes.
Souffle. He brought us some, he brought us some good news finally. And so I think this could continue. I'm sure we're going to talk about it. So I just want to say thanks a lot for having me on.
Hey, it's always a pleasure to have you on. Kenan, you up and going, man?
I'm up and going, and I'm ready to go. Is my mic working good? Am I synced up? Is my lips?
You good?
We on point?
You good? Go ahead and say hello to the people.
Yeah. So hey, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's good to have us doing this together because I feel like it's so necessary for us to have these conversations with so many people. I had a conversation today on my YouTube channel. I was talking about how inflation is a natural thing, but it's gotten so rampant that it just seems unnatural. Because we shouldn't be at 8%. We should be closer to 2% inflation. So then a lot of things are getting crazy. I had went to the grocery store the other day, and many people at home may be able to relate to this. And I had just picked up a head of cauliflower, right? I don't know how you describe it. That's how we describe it out on the East Coast. But I had picked up like a head of cauliflower. I'm thinking it's going to be expensive, right? $3, $4. Usually it's closer to $2 or $1. $8. $8.
What?
So we really need Jerome Powell to get it together. We shouldn't be paying $8 for that. You understand? So we waiting for Jerome Powell to keep telling us the good news. That's what we're trying to hear.
That's it. Hey, let's get right into it, man. Crazy. We just you guys excuse me. I got this dry cough thing going on. I got sinuses actually, sinus infection. Yeah, man, but we sound like the sick crew. Hey, let's take it as the day went, right? Let's get right into it. Fed Jerome Powell, man, he blessed us, family. Let's just call it what it is. He was talking too long, if you ask me. I was nervous, as you know. Generally, when Jerome Powell keeps talking, the market tanks. But he said some key things that, you know what, Mo, go ahead. Tell me what you got out of what Jerome Powell said.
Listen, you know what? You brought up something about him talking. I'll start with that, then we'll get into it. I got to tell you, family, if you watch that speech, there was a guy at the end, all right? So we're watching it. It comes out at like 1:30. The market starts going up. We get to the tail end. It's around, I don't even know. It's at the end of his speech. A guy comes out, one of the news people, and he says, the markets are reacting to what you're saying right now, and they're going way up. Is this what you wanted to happen? It was almost like he was begging him to say something to drop the markets. Like it was the most ridiculous question. I don't know if you two saw it, but I sat there saying, why would you ask that? You think Jerome Powell, the head of the Fed, cares exactly what the market is doing? Like he's out here affecting the market in that way. He cares about the economy, the inflation, the $8 a head for cauliflower, which is ridiculous. That's what he cares about. And this guy has the nerve. The market went up a little bit today. Does that concern you? And at the end of it, he didn't change his tune. To me, it was a dumb question, but Jerome Powell had a chance with that softball pitch to do anything he wanted with it. And he took it and he stuck on course and said, look, we are probably going to slow down rate hikes. It might be the right time starting in December 13th. On the 4th, not 13th, that's a CPI, and that's when the meeting starts. On the 14th, when they announce their rate hikes, they're going to be able to come out, and they're probably going to say 50 basis points or 0.5% interest rate hike on the Fed rate. And at that point, I think that's the last time. I think we already had the last 75 basis point, but they still have about a 20% chance priced into the market right now for a 75 basis point hike. So if the Fed comes out and somebody keeps asking, could this rally continue? Well, all three of us have talked about this and said that we could see a bear market rally, 10 to 20%. We all agreed during the last live stream, and we got it. Yep. And so for those who were a part of this with us, we did well. But now the question is, we're up 16% on the market now, almost 17% since that low of 34.91 in the S&P 500. Do we see a continuation? Because that's the $1 million question. I think the volatility is dropping off a cliff. So the good news for everybody is that even if we don't, it's not going to be too much up or down until the CPI numbers on the 13th. And on the 14th, if they come in good, they're going to come in at 50 basis point. And if they come in really good, they might even come in at a 25 basis point, and the market continues to rally until earnings in Q1. Once earnings in Q1 come out and they're not good and they're compressed, that's when we see our next leg down in, I think, a recession. But I think we have a few weeks, if not 2 months, of good news.
Kenan?
So I'll say this, right? So I'm looking at the FOMC meetings, and I'm going to check out the calendar year of January. I'm looking at January. Okay, the 27th. No. That's 2023. I'll look it up while we go through this. But what I want to see is
February 1st.
What'd you say? What date?
February 1st
what date
is
for
their
January?
next meeting after.
There is no January. There is no
1st.
January FOMC meeting. We go to February.
There's not one in January. Okay.
February
I'm going to go to their website. I'll go to their website in a little bit.
Right.
Well, I'll talk for now though, but I'll go to their website in a little bit and see what we know, right? See when the next one will be, if it's out yet even. So what I want to see is this. Like Mo just said, Jerome Powell, and I'm looking at it right now from CNBC, he says the Fed may ease up off of jumbo interest rate hikes. So what this is telling me, again, we might get not that 0.75%, aka 75% or basis rate hikes, 75 basis points, right? We might not get that again. It's likely that we're going to get 50. I think 25 would be easing up off the gas a little too much personally, but returning it down to 50, I would like to see that for a market rally like we've seen today, right at the beginning. So the put options, people were betting against the market. Come on, stop. This is not financial advice, but stop, please, please, please. Do yourself a favor and stop trying to play these news catalysts like this. When you bet against the market because you think Jerome Powell has continuously been tanking the market, it's a coin toss. It's a coin toss what he's going to say. So when you bet against it and you lose all of your money in a flash, let's stop doing that. Let's start to play it, reasonably and not gamble when you're trying to play options or even play futures or anything like that. So I say all of that to say this. Understand, if he does the 50 basis point rate hike and the market likes it, what we really need to see is if inflation is still coming down for December, which we'll find out in 2023 because it lags. It's a lagging indicator. But if we get those two things where the interest rate hikes are lowering, right? And we get inflation still coming down, two great catalysts like that. Oh yeah, that would be great to see. Is it likely? We're kind of neutral on it right now. We shall see. But this is what we would like to see. So we know that this recession that we're in, at least we're coming towards the bottom of it. That's what we would really like to know.
Yeah, I've been saying consistently for those of you of our followers, 50 basis points, even when it seemed like 75, I believe we will go 50 basis points on the 14th. Remember, we got CPI on the 13th, and then the FOMC meeting is the 13th and the 14th, right? And so then he's going to talk the next day. Also, remember, this Friday, we got new jobs numbers coming out, right? But we have December, the market has priced in 50 basis points in December. There is no FOMC meeting in January. And then the market has priced in 50 basis points in March, and then 25 basis points after that. I agree with you. He can't go to 25, but we got to understand 50 is a lot. 50 is a lot, good people. And never in the history of interest rates have the Fed raised it 4 times at 75 basis points. That was aggressive. Yeah. He was late to put on brakes.
Normal. Yeah.
Yep. So just think about it. You're in traffic. The cars are running fast. If you late to put on brakes, what do you got to do? You got to slam on it, and that's what he's doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, and that's why we're all suffering whiplash. Yep.
And I just found those dates too. I think Mo said it, but just to solidify, I'm looking at it right now.
February
the
1st.
Fed meeting is we're gonna hear about it on February 1st. The meeting is gonna start on January 31st, but then, like Mo just said, the meeting that we'll find out about the FOMC, actually the interest rate hike,
2 days,
is gonna be on the 1st.
Yep.
So we shall see, right? And then I'll look up also when we're gonna find out the inflation numbers for 2023 too, because that's something that we want to know. But let's keep it going.
Yeah, you mean the January numbers for the CPI? Yeah, I'm curious to see what day that is too, because we know it's the 13th of December for the November numbers. I don't know when in January they have the meeting for the CPI, if you will, for us to see. Hey, folks, do me a favor. I'm looking at this number. Hit the like button real quick for us, and let's get that smashed up. Put some Tesla cats in there. Hey, I got that trademark, guys. I'm very excited about that.
My man.
The Tesla cat, not that this one on my shirt, but the regular one. It looks like an S. The tail is an S, and the body's an M. For those that don't know, Stock Mo, the one in the back right now on the camera. But anyway, I got okayed this week. But do me a favor, put some Tesla cats in the comments. Put some coffee mugs. Put the loaf of bread. Put the what else? What am I missing here? We got the fire. Help me out here. What do we always put in? The oven mitts. The oven mitts. Kenan, we can't forget the oven mitts. In the kitchen, folks. He's not here selling the ETFs. If it's too hot, you stick to the ETFs. Put the oven mitts in there, folks.
That's right.
Let's get this thing done and get.
I did find the
YouTube
number.
algorithm on our side. What is it?
Go ahead.
14. So it's gonna be. So actually, it's gonna be on January 12th, 2023. At 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. That's when we're gonna find out if, when Jerome Powell releases this rate hike, right? We're gonna find out if it worked, right? We're gonna find out if inflation is still coming down, even with the lower interest rate hike. So we're gonna hear about it on, I think it's December 14th, what he does, and then we're gonna see if it's working, at least the beginning stages, on January 12th. So we shall see, right?
Yeah. Mike from Cali. Mike. What's going on? I just like saying that. Hey, with the coffee cups. Hey, let's get right into it. We're gonna jump out. There's so much to talk about. All right. We know that cloud was tanking today, but tech was on fire today. The Dow closed up. Let's see here. The Dow closed up 640 points, almost 2%. The S&P 3%, and the NASDAQ popped almost 4.5%, 4.4. That is insane for a day. So the markets really, really liked what Jerome Powell said. Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room with the curly afro.
I know you're going. Yeah, I know where you're going with this. As soon as you said, let's talk about it, I could see that tone. Old what is it, Sam Bankman Fried? Is that his name?
Yes.
Is that what they're going to call him?
Bankrupt fraud.
Yeah, Scam. Yeah. What's his nickname going to be when he hits the behind the bars? And where are they going to put him in prison in Bahamas? Is he going to go to prison in the U.S.? I watched that interview. It was disgusting.
It was. So let me start by saying this, good people, please. Now, when I aired it live, I just let people say whatever they wanted to say, because let's face it, we all deserve it. But let's not do any death and I hope he died and all. Let's not do none of that, okay? And let's just keep it respectable, because we got, other people watching. We had young people watching. You can still voice your choice, but let's just watch our words, okay? Our comments. Mo, let's start with you and then Kenan.
I watched some of that video. I know all three of us. I don't know if Kenan, if you were approached by him and that company. I know this hits home for us. We've discussed this in the past. They have approached me, and I can tell you, they offered more money than any other company has ever offered me. And I talked to you two about this. Mm-hmm. And after discussion with Larry and Kenan, I just wasn't comfortable. And so I ended up saying no, and I did not do it. And I'm thankful of that, because you don't know, because you do your due diligence, you do the best you can. And you don't know if there's fraud like Enron, Adelphia, FTX. We'll see what that comes out. you don't know how it's going to go. And at the end of the day, you see others who have, and you feel bad for everyone involved, because millions of people are affected by this. And I heard that video where the guy had $2 million of his life savings in there, and the guy read the note to Sam Bankman-Fried, and all he said is like, yeah, I'm sorry, I messed up.
Yeah,
you didn't mess up as a CEO. You did not do what you're supposed to do when you have millions of people depending on your services. And we hear 10 people living in a room, having fun, just living life, buying parents' home. And he's like, well, it was never that little section on that video about the parents living at a home that they signed into or something. Like, they're not off the hook here. Everybody involved that got any kind of benefit from FTX should be held accountable.
Yep. Or Alameda.
If this is a Ponzi scheme, if this was a Ponzi scheme, if it comes out to that, and I'm not saying it was, I'm not making allegations, whatever the government does find for this, and those who took advantage of the investors' money, of the depositors' money, should all be held accountable. Yeah. And either be in retribution, paying it all back. Plus some, or, behind bars. It's one or the other. You cannot steal billions of dollars and get away with it. We saw what happened with Enron. We saw what happened in Adelphia. We saw what happened, the guy, Bernie Madoff. You can't get away with this. And he's on TV free when people have lost their lives. It made me sick to my stomach. And we did not, like I said, we didn't get involved. It was amazing to hear the stories about this guy, and they seem too good to be true. It's the old saying that our pops, our grandpops, our great-grandpops taught us. If it's too good to be true, then it most likely is. And this is one of them cases where it came out like that. So I was disgusted by the video. I felt for the people involved. The guy who did the presentation and asked the questions did a great job. You could feel the pain from the letters and what he talked about, the people who write him. Thousands of people, he said. This is not over by a long shot. And this dude's in the Bahamas right now, free. I was disgusted. That's how I felt, Larry and Kenan. I don't know about you guys, but it's disgusting.
Here's my take on it, Mo and Larry. I am also disgusted by this, right? Because I want you to think about, and this is not to get political or anything like that, and this is not to get like, how they talk about, oh man, you people are privileged, those people are privileged. No. The people who are really privileged in this world are those who have a lot of money. I'm talking about the elite. The people who are, it's not about a race thing. It's not about a religion thing. It's about, in this case, the people who are the elite, who have all of the money to pay those who could get them in trouble. So imagine this, and let's have multiple different hypothetical things that could have happened. Let's say that you were selling things you shouldn't be selling on the streets. You know what I'm talking about here. I'm not trying to get Larry demonetized. So you selling things that you sell on the streets where you shouldn't be doing it. You go and you buy your girlfriend a house. You go and you buy your other girlfriend a house. You go and you buy your other girlfriend a house. You go and you buy your mama a house. You buy daddy a house, right? And then the FBI shows up. They say, whoa, we seizing all of these assets. They taking everything, right? But why, when it happens to a billionaire of this magnitude, they take nothing? So, and he's still out of jail for doing something on a way larger scale than you could have done in the situation that I brought up, right? Understand, this is what I see. Again, none of this is financial advice. None of this is, it's an opinion. It's not right or it's not wrong. This is how I see it. It's my opinion. I see this as him, and again, it's opinion, but it's well informed. Let's be clear on that. The people who he's funded politically, they don't want to go down. They don't want to send the dogs after him and say, hey, go pick this guy up. Because then he's going to be like, hey, you were helping me on that. Right. And my mom, she had a joke, right? My mom had a joke, and she was saying, and this is just her just playing around, but she's like, imagine that you're doing a crime and you bring somebody with you, and then you guys run from the police. And then you know what? You hide under the car and the police are chasing you, right? Just picture this. And then the person that you're with gets caught. And then they look under the car and they tell the police, yeah, he's right there. Come on, man, come on out. We got caught. And you're thinking, wait, what? We got caught, right? So the idea here, we got caught, right? You got caught.
Dude, you're taking me back to my childhood here.
Fried, when he gets caught, he could do that to the politicians and say, hey, guys, we got caught. But they're saying, no, we're not even going to send the police, because if you get caught, you're not going to go down alone. They might start to say, hey, who is the most funded? And let's be clear, this is a fact. This is not an opinion. Who was the most funded party by him that we know of? The Democrats, right? This is not something to say you don't be a Democrat, be a Republican. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying that Democrats are in power right now, and they were heavily funded by him in this case. Go look it up yourself. So then they're saying, yeah, we might not want to say, hey, go check this guy out. Go check what he did. Go look at all of the books. Go make people whole. This is one of the things. So Larry was playing it, and I kept hearing him say this. I just want to make the people whole. I want to make the people whole. If you wanted to make people whole, you wouldn't have stole from them in the first place. You understand? That's something that you really got to get. Some things you can't make right because it's too late. Crypto as a whole has already taken this blow. Those of you who've been in the game for more than 5 years of crypto, you remember BitConnect, right? That was a huge blow to crypto and the trust. You remember all of those kind of platforms which were scams about earning high interest, right? And now this FTX thing, they not only scammed everyday investors, they brought in institutions along for the scam as well. And this is just the truth. BlockFi, Gemini, and hey, when you look at the books, Coinbase is in there too. A lot of them have invested into FTX. And somebody brought up a great point. I just ended on this. I don't personally believe that Coinbase, Gemini, BlockFi, and all of these people who are putting millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars into FTX, I don't think that they believe that it was totally legit. This is just my opinion. I think that they might have said, hey, something's up here, but there's a huge chance to make a lot of money here. So then they went with it. That's how I see it, right? You be the judge. But I see they saw a limited downside. Like, hey, you know what? To us, we might lose 20 million. We might lose 100 million, but we got the chance to make billions here. So I think it's worth the risk. So then they went on and did it. And then many average everyday people are like, you telling me all of these big companies are invested and involved in FTX? Let's go get on it too, right? So then understand, back to the beginning of the story, like they say, there's a big club and you ain't in it, family. It's the elite. It's the billionaires, and we not a part of that club. So then we got to watch out for ourselves. That's what I got on it.
So I'm going to correct you on one thing, Kenan.
I'm listening.
You guys know that I'm an independent. We have him on tape. He said he gave the same amount to the Republicans, but he did it like in a dark pool. The Republicans made him give them the money dark. This is out of Sam Bankman Fried's own mouth. That makes the plot even more diabolical because he's got them both by the kahunas. And
they all in the same club.
Yeah. So he gave 70 million, him and his company, Alameda and Associates, gave about 70 million to the Democratic Party publicly, where you could read it. So they released theirs. The the Republicans made them do it dark. I keep telling you guys.
Wow.
We got to look at the facts, whether it's your team or whatever. We got to listen, let's just make a oath that we just going to follow the money and we're not going to get into these. We're not going to fall for the okie doke, because like
I will say, I don't believe him, to be honest, because I don't have a reason to believe him.
I actually do.
Not to say that he didn't.
Yeah, I do.
I personally, I
do.
I don't believe him.
And here's why.
Like he sees the backlash. He sees the backlash that he's getting from just going one way with it. Even though I do know that if he did both, the story's juicier. But I want to see the receipts.
God, yeah. But if he shows, here's the thing. If he shows the receipts, will we believe it? See, I believe the receipts. Yeah, there you go. I work for politicians.
The bank receipt.
Listen,
when he's transferring funds,
I'm going to tell you guys something. I did a ton of work for the political here in Chicago. I'm not even going to go into my background as far as doing work with political stuff. Like I was doing music for them and all of that. Listen, I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican. You got to check. That's a handout. Period. It doesn't matter. It's all politics. So now what I'm saying is, look at this. Do you know in a bankruptcy who gets paid first? Institutions, not you and I. So just to your point, Kenan, they're going to bail out the wealthy. They're going to bail out the millionaires and billionaires. And who gets stuck holding the bag? You and I. That's why we got to unite. We got to wise up, because they don't care about us. And I can tell you this, probably before, and you heard it here, I guarantee you before the end of this year, you're going to see Maxine Waters, somebody's old enough to be Sam's great-grandmother, and she's going to be, you did this. She knows nothing about crypto. It's going to be a dog and pony show, and he won't spend one day in jail because he got both parties by the kahunas.
Can I comment on something really quickly?
Please do.
Because I've been struggling with this a lot lately, and it's just comments that people don't understand what you're saying, so I feel like I got to elaborate. I see somebody in the comments, and I'm definitely calling you out. It's no disrespect. His name is Way Up Crypto or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. And he's saying, Kenan, you're wrong. No, I'm not wrong. It's not about being right or wrong. Sam Bankman Fried said out of his mouth that he paid the Republicans dark, which I totally believe could have happened. Yeah. However, I don't believe until I see the facts. That's all. What he says, his word holds no weight with me. So it's not that I'm wrong. It's just that I just want to see the facts. We've seen the books on the Democratic donations. And this doesn't mean Republicans are in the clear, because would I be surprised if more people who are elite are taking donations in the dark? No, I'm not going to be surprised. I just want to see it, because if this dude told me that water was wet, now I don't know, because I don't believe anything he says. That's all. So just to be clear, it's not that I'm wrong. It's just that I just want verification so then I can say, here are the guys. Here it's because think about it this. The Republican Party, are they probably getting paid by a huge crypto exchange that was making billions of dollars a day? Oh, absolutely, they probably did, right? Yep. It's not about that. Some people get so caught up on what team they're on that they don't care about facts anymore. They don't care about facts anymore. And all I say is, hey, if you listen up and you look for the receipts, hey, I bet you the receipts will tell you, yeah, he was actually exposing more of the people that he was working with. But I just want to see him. That's all. It's not about being right or being wrong. And I want you to make sure that you up the level of scrutiny that you have towards things. And not you, Larry, or you, Mo. But I'm just talking about my guy in the chat. In the chat. We all the way up crypto or whatever. And let's just keep it real. Let's keep it raw, big dog.
And then he threw his girlfriend under the bus and then put the bus in reverse. And he threw everybody in Alameda under the bus and then went back over and bagged up and made sure she was gone. Wow. Like, I was just like, what?
An analogy.
He's like, I didn't, I didn't have any say so in the day-to-day. This is your company, bro. I'm live. I had to be on mute because I'm yelling at my computer. Like, really? You had nothing, but you went and got our deposits, right? From FTX and transferred them over to Alameda, right? Alameda was your hedge fund arm. And he was like, I didn't know, it wasn't me, the day-to-day functions. And I'm like, what? man. So here's what he said. Let's discuss this. He said,
threw her under the bus.
Like, wow. He said, sorry, baby, you got to go. Just like in those movies where the guy uses the girl, then he kills her at the end. It's just cold-blooded. So then,
you know that.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, once they get to that point, Larry, once they get to the point that this big crew of people, they said 10 people or whatever, were living down there in Bermuda, living it up, and they're spending money, okaying it with emojis. And once they get caught, it's, this. I remember back in the day when you do go out with a big crew and all of a sudden somebody gets pinched and all of a sudden it's every man for themselves.
Yep.
And I think you're going to see this because they're looking at life in prison. Yeah. I'm not kidding you. Some of these kids might be in there 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they are going to start to turn on each other. And the big thing I will say about what Kenan talked about, and if there is a lot of donations to whoever, politicians, whoever else, I will say this.
Yep.
These people are terrified that their name could be drug under with him. If
That's right.
Sam Bankman-Fried goes down, who's he going to drag down with him? Because he's not in U.S. custody yet. He's not making deal with the FBI and CIA and the SEC and FINRA and all of them. Right now, he's scared to death. You can see it in the video. If he goes down, who's he going to take with him? Because I promise you this, unlike, we'll say, Bernie Madoff, who kept it very close. There was only a handful of people.
It's Madoff.
I think
the name fits.
Madoff. Yeah. So let's just look at it this way. He's going to take a boatload of people with him. And I think everyone's terrified who gets drugged down. Then they're talking about the contagion from business to business in crypto, from FTX down to others. Who's it going to be in professional and politics? I mean, Republicans, Democrats, people outside of it. We're seeing sports people getting drugged down.
Yeah.
You know, who's all going to be drugged down ultimately for this?
Yeah, and a lot of
that's what people are terrified.
And a lot of them are innocent. They just wanted to make a good investment, right?
Right.
But I will tell you this: is it is funny how they protect each other. I don't think the way that he gave both parties money, which I believe, they're not ratting each other out. There will be no politicians shown as dirty because one side got dirt on the other. They not because they know it's gonna sink the whole boat. So none of these politicians are going under. They're bought. They are bought out. 70
on
million
both sides.
a piece on both sides. Man, tell me that's not dastardly.
On both sides.
On both sides. Man, come on. It's crazy. Now he throws them under the bus. He throws all of Alameda under the bus. He's like, I don't know. The what's his name that was asking the questions? He asked the questions, the hard questions. But let's talk about this. He said that FTX US is still sovereign according to him. Let's talk about that. And he said that even today, that withdrawals and transactions from FTX US should still be free to go back and forth. That's what he said, according to what he sees. If that's true, who's holding the funds? Care to elaborate?
Yeah, let me start with this one. Yeah,
go ahead, Mo.
I was going to say, didn't he say in that, I believe 2 different places he said he can make all investors whole. I believe he said FTX US. He said he can make all investors who are in FTX US whole. He has no idea why that was frozen. They could take their money out. And anybody in the United States of America who went through FTX US should be able to be made whole. And he also said the same thing, correct me if I'm wrong, about the exchange in Japan. He said everybody in Japan should, he goes, he has no idea. And you could tell that's the one thing I did believe him on, because he's like, he always looked down until he was, to me, serious, and he looked like he was being honest, which was rarity for me, in my opinion. But he'd look up and he goes, I don't know why Japan is frozen. They can make everybody whole in Japan. They can make everybody whole in FTX US. It's the international that the issues were. And so to me, I don't know. That's another thing with the politicians who has the funds who took it, because he seemed like he was 100% sure that everybody in the US and Japan who were in those 2 could be made whole. I don't know if you guys have more on that.
This is my take on that, right? So imagine that we're in court, right? And I'm the prosecutor and I'm pressing you, right? I'm on your head and I'm in there and I'm saying, yo, Mo, listen, Larry, you two, you knew that you didn't have the money. Why were you doing this service? So then if I was a lawyer prepping you to go to talk to CNBC Live, I want you to say that you still think you have the money. Because if you ever at some point say, yeah, we don't have the money, there must have been a point in which you realized that. And then that point in which you realized it is going to get you in trouble. So that's how I see it going on right here. So he's lying again, saying, yeah, you know, I still think we got the money. Yeah, we're going bankrupt, but we got the money to pay everybody. You know what I'm saying? Wait. How does that work? So at what point did you know that you didn't have it? At what point did you realize, again, allegedly, all of this is alleged, right? Nobody's trying to get sued. What point did you realize that you were gambling with funds, your customers, and then you weren't able to let everybody withdraw? So then with all of these other companies that they're saying are liquid, they could actually, you know, let you withdraw all of your money. They just won't let you do it. guess what? They don't want you to do it, because then if you take everything from them, let's say that they even were liquid enough for you to do it. If you could take everything from them, then they no longer have a business, because that's how they're making their money, off of basically using your money and trading it and lending it out. So I don't even believe him there. I believe literally nothing this guy says. And I want to say that there got to be some truth in there. I think he might have said the word that might have been the truth. He might have said outside of that, Kenan, I don't know.
Kenan, you're awesome. I love it.
I'm telling you, that might have been it. But again, I just want to be so clear. Would I be shocked that the Republican Party was getting crazy donations from this dude? Absolutely not. Right? I bet you it's even deeper than Democrats and Republicans. I bet you there are people working, again, allegedly, at the SEC who probably got in on some of that. Right? I bet you this all over the place. I bet you people in Bank of America got their hands dirty. I bet you there are people who are, again, allegedly, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Vanguard. I bet you it's all over the place. If the three of us owned big type of institutions, and we see FTX blowing past us in market cap, we say, yeah, we got to get a piece of that, right? So then all of these institutions are involved. It's literally, I would be shocked if there was anybody with a net worth over $1 billion that didn't have exposure to FTX. I would be shocked. So then, since they run the world, we just got to deal with the fallout until they try to make us forget about it, which we won't.
Okay. He says, where are the Republicans? He said they made him give it dark, and that happens every day. All right, meaning they didn't want him to report it. So there's always a workaround. All right, let's just call it what it is. All right. So let's bounce around and go back to some stock. All right, because we got stock people here, we got crypto people here, and just know that one affects the other. All of this liquidity that came out of crypto, you have banks that are missing billions of dollars because of this, and that affects the stock market. Trust me. So it is a good thing to pay attention to both. All right. So let's talk about short forecast and long forecast as far as the stock market. Kenan, I'm going to start with you this time. We all have said where we see the stock market going short and long term. So Kenan, you go first this time. I'll go second, and Mo, you can go third.
You got it.
So I answer your question, but I want to answer a little bit differently. So okay. I got a comment today, and I had sent it to you guys in the group chat, and somebody had said to me, and let me see if I can find it real quick. But it was basically, I had made a video yesterday about Apple, and somebody had said, man, listen, I'm with Elon, and I'm going to go and buy Dogecoin. And then I'm like, yo, listen, you can't compare Apple to Dogecoin. It's okay to like Doge. It's okay to like SHIB. It's okay to like AMC, GameStop. It's okay to like Luna, whatever you like. However, you got to understand the difference between something that's extremely speculative versus something that is generating a product or a service. So we can't compare, and let's go to both extremes. We can't compare something that is, I'm talking absolutely the most maximum speculative, right? Like tulip, the tulip prices back in the day versus farmland, right? Farmland produces food, right? These things have a real value. We can't compare these two things. So when somebody was saying Dogecoin, and then it was Apple. So here goes the comment, right? And if you in the chat, it's not disrespect, but sometimes I gotta punch you in the chest because I love you and I want you to be better. So, and if you see that for me, I want you to punch me in the chest. You want me to be better. But here we go. My guy said, my dude, whether you invest in Apple or Doge, investing is investing. Don't tell people that there's a right way. And I'm thinking to myself, how are we even comparing Apple to Doge? You understand? Doge, right. In this case, you know I like Dogecoin. You know Elon is my dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm with it. But I understand that if I want to go out and retire, I need to put my money in the things that are producing, right? Either a service or a product that people want, that have books that I can say, okay, this company is still profitable. This company has new products coming out. They're investing in research and development. They got marketing all over the place. I'm looking at this on an iPhone. versus something that if Elon say something today, it's going to rocket. Or if he say the wrong thing, it's going to tank. I don't want to put that my investing into that, right? So then I just wanted to comment on how we got to be smarter, because what happens is these people who you may think are dumb, like Sam Bankman-Fried. I want to enlighten you real quick. Sam Bankman-Fried is probably, when you really look at his IQ, is probably higher than most people you've ever met in your life. He's just not using it in a proper way, in my opinion. He's using it to take from you rather than to help you. So then there are so many people who will use their knowledge to take from you that you got to say, hold up, I got to be more objective. And I know that I like Dogecoin, but I got to understand that people will try to use that against me. You understand? And speaking of that, don't fall for any WhatsApp in the comments, because guess what? The people who doing these WhatsApp bots, do you know how to make a bot and get it to say whatever you want and post all over the internet? You don't. This is somebody who's probably really smart who decided, you know what? It's going to be more lucrative for them to scam you than to help you. So then I want you to just really think about that and start to say to yourself, hey, I need to make smart investments. I need to say, hey, if I'm trading, I might put a little bit into something speculative, but the high majority of my wealth, it has to go in things that are producing. I don't care if it's Tesla. I don't care if it's Apple. I don't care if it's Berkshire Hathaway. I don't care what it is, but it got to be something that is really making a lot of sense. And we can't just get to the hot hype thing in terms of putting your whole life savings in there. Like Mo just said, somebody had $2 million in FTX and that was his life savings. Now, I hate to hear that. But when we really get down to it, it was preventable. We don't want you to get scammed by these people like Sam Bankman-Fried, but we also know that you shouldn't put your eggs in one basket. That saying is as old as time. So in terms of, just to answer your question real quick, Larry, I see the market coming down more in 2023, right? I think we're going to get some pop in there, but I think we're going to get a whole lot of good deals on a whole lot of good companies. And some of the speculative things are going to disappear and some of them are going to bounce, but the high majority of them, they never coming back.
Good answer. I'm trying to talk less because somebody said, could you please let your guests finish? I'm like, I haven't cut anybody off on this one. I'm taking a break, man. I have something to say. It's my show. All right. So listen, let me say this. There is a wrong and a right way. Me and Stockmo was talking about this earlier. Your trading broker only guarantees you up to $500,000 in your broker with equities and $250,000 in cash, right? So if you have $2 million, you need 4 brokers. There is a wrong and a right way. If you put all of your money on a one broker, I don't care if it's crypto or stock, just do the math. That's why wealthy people have their money abroad. I don't have more than that amount of money in one holding. It's foolish. It's FDIC guaranteed if it's stock, right? And so there is a right and a wrong way. Neither would I put all of my money into crypto. I don't care what the crypto is. And I definitely won't have it all on one broker. So there is a wrong way of doing it. So that's wrong. I wouldn't have all my money in the speculative coins. I'm telling you guys, if I never do another live, please, please, please hear me. You're going to be able to get Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Google, even Meta. In the next 6 months, you will be able to get them at the lowest price you're able to get them in your lifetime. Because the next bull market and the next recession, the lows of the next recessions will be higher than the highs of this bull run, of the bull run 2021. That's just the facts. Go to all of those stocks, zoom out and put it and just look. You can't show me a 7-year period where you're not making money. So it's okay to day trade. It's okay to have the speculative stuff. It's okay to have the run-ups in crypto. You guys saw me turn $2,400 into $53,000 with crypto alone. But I'm not having all my money, and I took some of that money out. So we just tell you this because We want you guys to win. Somebody said this. Do you believe? This is what I believe short term, and I'm going to pass it over to Mo. I have been saying all this year that we will have a turnaround, and I called it mid-October. And look at the chart. What happened? Mid-October, we turned around. Last year in November, I said we're heading to a recession and a bear market, major. I said that last November. All this year, we've been in a bear market. Leave me a coffee cup if you guys heard me say that. I haven't gotten everything right. I'm just saying. But I've also said that we could end above 4,100-ish. We could have a Santa Claus rally coming in December, and just Google Santa Claus rally because it's not the entire month. It's actually 4 or 5 days. And we could get above 4,100 on the S&P 500. I believe that. But that's the ultimate bear trap for the year. Because within the next 3 to 6 months, I believe, these are not facts, that we will be in a harder recession. I believe it will surpass the June lows. And I don't believe it's going to be as long, as deep, and as painful as 2008. That's what my overall market outlook is. And I'm putting all of my money, investing all of my money accordingly. Mo?
Yeah, let's start with the station break, man. If you guys didn't hit the like button. Let's get that thing up. We haven't done one of these yet. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to all three of us. Good content. I always come over to Kenan and Larry's channels. We all have our specialties that we do. Put it together. You got a well-rounded community of people who care. And so I always like to say, put the oven mitts in there, the cup of coffee, the Tesla cap, put it in the comments. Let's get this fire stoked and get this thing rolling. Now, as we move into where I see the market going, I've been pretty blunt about this. When we were at 34.91 in the S&P 500, I said that I thought we'd go up 10 to 20% off the lows. We did. We're now up 16%. $1 million question is, how high do we go? Well, now that old Uncle Jay Powell came out and it hooked us up with some good information today, he's basically saying, look, I'm taking my foot off the pedal. I think it's time that we lighten up in December. Good chance of it. They won't say anything because they have voting members. They have to come in and vote. But the leader of the gang comes out and says, I think it's time to slow down. You can bet your bottom dollar, which is why you've seen the market explode today, that they're going to lighten up. And so I think at this point, we'll have December 13th as the catalyst. Like it or not, I think they already have a good idea how that's going to turn out. That's why he came out a little lighter. I think the numbers are going to come in better than expected. I'm hoping. And if they do, expect a rally that lasts through the end of this year. Then once we get into the Q1, and we're getting Q4 earnings reports, and they're not coming in as good as everybody expected, that begins the next leg down in the S&P 500. And I'm with Larry on this. I do believe we get new lows. Even without a recession, I believe we get new lows. We go down to 3,600 in the S&P. I'll put a number on it. 3,600 for the S&P. If we get a recession, we break below 3,300. At that point, you're going to be near bottoms between 2,900 and 3,300 for a recession. If it's a major one, we're closer to 2,900 to 3,000. If it's a minor one, we'll touch on 33. It's going to pop back up. And after that time, that is going to be a point of capitulation where everyone is disgusted. They want to give up. They're selling their stocks. They're running for the door. They're going to hear that everyone's losing money, except those who were smart enough to make sure they had the put options in place, which I'm going to make sure I have for my portfolio. We're going to short stocks in my portfolio. We're going to do what needs to be done, but we're also going to have some good long positions that normally outperform the S&P 500 during recessions. Utilities, consumer staples, healthcare. They're three that I really like, and we got some other ones. I think after that, we'll end up at the end of the year. Now listen, Q2, Q3, we're going to bottom out 3,300, 3,600 maybe, depending recession, no recession. But by the end of the year, we'll be back up to 4,000. And at the end of 2024, we'll be rolling up nicely. It'll be a new bull market. China will be back open full speed. U.S. will be staying, and we're going to roll up to some nice numbers. I expect a big, big year off of those bottoms. We could run up 10, 20%. And then in 2024, we could see another 10 to 20%. So I think you're going to see a massive run after we bottom out in 2023. I hope we don't have a recession. I hope I'm wrong and the market goes nuts. But right now, we don't know. But this is how I'm going to play it.
Let me ask you this.
You know who's not having a recession?
Go ahead.
You know who's not having a recession? Lockheed Martin. They are up over
they're killing it.
43%. I'm looking at it right now. Lockheed Martin, for those of you that don't know, I'm just going to read you a little bit. It says that they engage in research, development, and manufacturing of technology and products that have to do with the military family. So understand, we've been sending a lot of money overseas, right? Whether you agree with that or not, you know, you be the judge on that. But Larry said a long time ago, there's always a bull market somewhere, right? Who knows these things? It's generally the people who are taking all of the money out of the things that you like to invest in. And then they're saying, oh, you know what? There's war in the world. War is probably where the bull market is, right? I'm not telling you to go invest in anything like that, but understand this company is crushing it. The market is down. I think what is the overall market down today? Like on the year from last year, like 13% or 20%, somewhere in that range. Right? What'd you say?
15% for the S&P 500.
15% on the year is
for the
down.
S&P 500.
Lockheed Martin is up 43%. People have been, institutions, for example, have been just flooding money into that because they always see an opportunity to make a lot of money. So then it's just really crazy how they'll tell you, and they own these media companies, right? These institutions own these media companies that are telling you to put the Ukraine flag up, right, on your social media and do all of these things. Meanwhile, I'm not saying Lockheed Martin is doing it, but they are investing in the companies that are making bombs and things like, you know what I'm saying? People are getting hurt. So it's just like, it's real complex, family. But understand this, and I said this in a video yesterday because I've seen, and those of you who've seen it, you've seen it. Those that didn't. Understand this. Elon Musk was talking about Apple, and he's going at Tim Cook like crazy, right? The CEO of Apple. And now, I said this, and people always hear one side of it. I say, hey, listen, Elon Musk has only got his eyes set on Tim Cook because that $8 that he's charging for that blue check over on Twitter, Apple is getting a cut because it's in the App Store, right? Keep in mind, Android is getting the same exact cut. So if you leave Apple and go to Android, it's still the same problem. But the issue here is this. I like Elon. He's one of my favorite billionaires. There's no competition. None of these billionaires really, really care about you. Understand me on that. Nobody's coming to save you. You got to save yourself. That's what I want you to understand. Whether or not, you know, you support certain endeavors that people have, whether it be Tim Cook, because again, there is a million reasons not to like companies like Apple. If you want to talk about human rights and work conditions, and that's what people have been talking about, like Elon Musk has been highlighting with Apple, same thing can be said about Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, all of these overseas big tech companies that they take their work overseas. So the work conditions could be lower. Understand though, when they start to virtue signal us and tell us, oh no, we're the good guys, it's never about being a good guy. It's all about making money. So then I want you to take your heart out of this market and start to look at things objectively and don't put the blinders on just because you think somebody is on your side. Now, that's really a point that I just wanted to hammer home because this is about investing into companies that are producing money. Now, if you disagree with it ethically, hey, I'm with you. I feel you on that. But understand that when somebody looks like they got your back, it's oftentimes they're a wolf in sheep's clothing, and you really need to be objective about it. And this is how Sam Bankman Fried, aka Scam Bankrupt Fraud, got in and did all that he did. Because people said, oh man, I couldn't believe the words that they were using when they were talking about him in that interview that Larry was playing. They were saying, man, you guys are just a bunch of kids on Adderall. These people is 30 and 35 years old. How are they kids? How are they kids? If you go to jail and you do a crime at 19, they're not going to call you a kid. How is this 30-year-old man a kid? Right? Understand that, hey, the rules ain't fair, family, for the middle class, for the people who could be considered poor. It's all about the institutions, the elites, and the politicians. And we just got to say, even though one of them might look like he got our back totally, do they? Always keep that in mind, in the back pocket. So then when you are getting brainwashed by the media, you realize that maybe this ain't in my best interest all the time. Sometimes it is, but not all the time that it is. That's all I got on that, family.
You know, it is funny that people trade with their emotions and not their head. Have anybody ever thought about, they're like, oh, I'm team Apple or I'm team Elon. Has anybody ever thought about these are two of the richest companies on the planet? And where are most of their products manufactured? overseas in China. Sometimes people y'all just need to wake up. Kenan, you hit it right on the head. We got to get out of this rich people battles. You know, we used to say in the hood, rich people's problem. You know, I had to pay $150 to glaze my Porsche. Rich people's problem, okay? You know, for an oil change. But this is what, we always say that rich people problems, right? My wife used to work for a billionaire. He would complain about some stuff about he had to spend $500 million of his own money. And I looked at him one time, I said, rich people problems. And so we got to understand this. Like Kenan, we just trying to tell y'all, it's more than you think, right?
Right.
These companies are not going anywhere. Somebody asked, should I just dump the blue chip companies? No. Continue to DCA. I've been DCAing in Apple, Tesla, all of these, Microsoft, Google. I've been doing I call it my $5 a day challenge, right? So people say, well, you keep trying to time the market. I got a safeguard because I'm DCAing all day. Been DCAing ever since. For those of you that's taking the challenge, leave me a coffee cup. Been DCAing all the way. But when and if the S&P 500 gets, 3,100-ish, I'm buying. I'm spending big money. I'm buying. And I'm buying deep. And I don't care how deep it goes from there. Because the numbers show that I'm going to be okay. Excuse me for burping. That I'm going to be okay. And I'm going to continue to make generational wealth. And so we got to understand this, good people. We got to understand, don't trade with your heart. Be smart. Don't trade with your heart. Right?
There you go.
And that's what's happening. What you want to say, Mo?
I'm just listening in, man. You guys are dropping nuggets right now. I'm going to tell you this. I'm putting my family's entire well-being at risk, and I'm doing it based on a lot of research. I'm looking at a lot of financial history of what happens during a time of the Fed tightening. I'm looking at what happens during a recession. I'm putting it all together, and I'm over there at the Patreon just absolutely hammering this portfolio. And like I said, I don't have a ton of cash out there. I've worked my entire life. I've been through ups and downs. And I'm taking what I have for my family and doing what I think is the best. So when I say this is what I'm doing. This isn't just like $5, $10. This is my family's well-being. Yeah. I am preparing a recession in 2023.
Yeah.
And if I'm wrong, I'm still going to make money. If it's no recession, the market goes higher. I just won't make as much. But if I'm right, I could save my family a ton and actually come out making money. Right. I'm going to tell you, you want one asset class that I never hear anybody talk about? It's bonds. You want to make money? This is not financial advice, but I'll tell you this. I'm going to be buying hundreds of thousands of dollars of bonds. Bonds in my mind, they're going to absolutely explode in 2023 once the Fed pivots. Bonds run inverse of the Fed rate. The Fed's been tightening dramatically over the last year. We've seen the worst year in bonds in decades. I'm talking 40 years. And when you see that, and they pivot, you're going to see bonds explode higher. And you want to see money be made? Watch the bond market. I'm loading up on it. I'm going to continue to load up on it. And I'm usually, bonds have been so boring because the Fed rate's been around zero that you don't get a lot from bonds. Well, them days are over, folks. You want to make money? Check out bonds.
And you know what? It's basically a loan from the government. So it's, you know how they like to print money. It's guaranteed. That's the closest thing to a guaranteed return you could get.
Hey,
yeah, the treasuries, are. Yeah, you're right, Kenan.
So let's switch back to crypto, right? Mo, we'll start with you, and I'll come in last. Kenan, you bring it in second. Let's talk about: do you think crypto will rebound? And if so, when? Oh. And if so, when are you getting in? Let's have some real conversations and help these people and help ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I'll start this one out. Yeah, sure, no problem. I got to tell you this: if it wasn't for Sam Bankman, and people say I didn't have any money in FTX, you know what Sam Bankman cost me? Probably cost me $100,000. And I'm not going to joke. This isn't. My wife and I sat down and we talked about it. It is probably around $100,000. And no, I didn't have any money in FTX. He cost me $100,000 because I got a boatload of Ethereum. Ethereum right now should be trading at around $2,000 a piece. If you go back and you look at when Sam Bankman ended up destroying the crypto space, you had Ethereum at mid 1600s. From there on, which was November 4th, if we go in and we take a look at the S&P 500 from November 4th on, it was the S&P 500 is up almost 9%. We know the correlation between crypto and equities is huge, 30 to 40%. Well, it disconnected there. And so instead of seeing crypto go up 2 to 3 times what this is, roughly, we'll say 15 to 5% above the 1600, which should put it around 2000 right now, it got hammered down to 1200, 1100. It's disgusting. That's what he costs everybody that owns crypto. Any altcoin, doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's what he costs you. So if you think you didn't lose anything, if you own one piece of crypto, you got hit. And it's because of his, whatever you want to call it. I'm not here to be a judge. I'll let the judges put him behind bars if he deserves it. And, but that is what I think. So is crypto dead? Absolutely not. I've been buying Ethereum every week. I'm going to look at this time as a time to load up one last time. The halving of Bitcoin is going to happen in what, 2024, I believe. And you also had the winter of 2018 I went through. We had Ethereum drop 94% and Bitcoin 87 to 89%. And look where it's at now. We're going to have a repeat of that. We're going to have a repeat of that, I should say. And you're going to see Bitcoin and Ethereum strive and survive and thrive. What I tell you a long time ago, 12 to 24 cryptos are going to make it to make up over 90% of the crypto space. There are, I think, 8 to 15,000 different crypto projects. 12 to 24 will make up 90% of the market cap. I still believe it. I have people yell at me when I say that. Everybody believes every project's going to be a huge winner. 12 to 24. And at that point, with that being said, I still believe that Ethereum could hit 10,000 by the end of 2025. It's going to take a lot more now because who just messed it up? Well, Sam Bankman now is going to have the feds in on it, the politicians around the world. It's going to be a rougher road. Regulation's going to come. Now, the downside is it could be pushed out. I hope not. I still think there's a chance for it. The good side, once that happens, which I think now it's inevitable, you're going to have institutional investors plowing money in once that is set up because they won't be afraid anymore. And that's going to be the road we go. But I still believe Bitcoin and Ethereum are going to be okay. A few altcoins are going to surprise some people, but not many. But I still think we're going to be able to make some money moving forward. But with the recession coming, I think in 2023, all risky assets are going to be under pressure until about middle of 2023. And then you're going to see growth stocks, small caps, crypto having the time of their life once we hit to the point of capitulation, and you're going to see money being made hand over fist. That's what I think is going to happen.
So I asked this question on Twitter, and I was surprised in the split, right? But I do like that people think for themselves, and I get to see different perspectives, and I want to ask it to us here. Do you think, and it's going to keep it real black and white, right? If you want to make it gray, you explain it in the comments. But yes or no, write this in the chat. Do you think crypto is the future? Say yes. Or do you think it's not, right? Is it a Ponzi scheme? Yes or no here? Is crypto the future? Yes or no? Crypto is a Ponzi scheme. Now, just to elaborate on this, there's something called the central bank digital currency that the central banks, the large institutions, particularly the government, honestly, when you really think about it, are trying to implement their own form of cryptocurrency where they say, look, none of this other crypto is regulated, but we have one that we can regulate. And a lot of people are afraid of this, and it makes a lot of sense to be, because if you think about it, they could hit a switch and turn your money off. But you could argue that they could do this with credit cards and things like that and freeze all of your accounts. So then I ask you, do you think crypto as it stands now is the future, or do you think it's a Ponzi scheme? And on the other end, a Ponzi scheme means the only way it's making money is because you get what they call another idiot, a larger fool, to roll in and pay the people who got in first, right? What do you think on that? And it was like almost a 50-50 split, maybe a 50-something, 40-something split, but I was shocked because I thought that everybody just thought, hey, I'm not even going to try to sway you anyway. What do you think? Yes, it's the future, or no, you think crypto is not the future and it's a Ponzi scheme? I'm seeing a lot of answers roll in, and All right. I'm seeing some answers roll in, but again, I'm seeing some of them saying that it's a Ponzi, and I do want to comment on that too, right? Sam Bankman Fried inadvertently, by accident, exposed a lot of cryptos as Ponzi schemes. He didn't mean to do it, but he did it. And a lot of these exchanges, if you don't remember anything else from this stream, in my opinion, get off of these exchanges, family. All of them. This is my opinion. If you want to stay on an exchange, you go ahead and do so. Some of us may be locked in because you're staking something over there, but I encourage you to get a ledger or some type of hard wallet. What I mean by get off of these exchanges is get like, it's called a ledger, for example, a USB, a hard wallet, and you can get your crypto off of the internet. So then they can't steal it from you or they can't lock you out. So if you got locked in BlockFi, you got locked in any of these ones, Gemini, Voyager, Celsius, right? The list goes on and on. There's a new one every day. If you put it on a cold wallet, then you can go and buy it on Coinbase if you so choose. You do you, right? But you don't have to keep it there. So then you can lock it away. And these are for the ones that you want to hold 5, 10, 15 years, however long. If you want to be in the hot ones, like the super hot ones that you're trading, you figure out a different way to do that. Maybe you could stay on a hot wallet. You be the judge. However, get off of these crypto exchanges. Understand, a lot of these cryptos are Ponzi schemes. Some of them will be the future. Like Mo just said, there's thousands and thousands of crypto, but he feels like it's only going to be like 24 of them that exist, if I'm not misquoting you, Mo. But that exists in the future, and that makes a lot of sense because... Go ahead.
I was just going to say they're going to make up about 90% of the market cap. 90% of the market cap made up by 24 cryptos. You'll still have thousands of cryptos, but they'll be basically pennies.
That's right. And you're right about that. So get up on, look, listen. These exchanges, and I don't care which ones they are. I don't care if it's Coinbase. I don't care if it's whatever else. You can trust them to buy it on if you've done your research, and you do. But in terms of holding it there, think about the people who were on FTX, for example, that said, look, I'm a long-term investor. I'm going to buy some and I'm going to forget it, right? This is how investing works. You plant a seed and you watch it grow. But then you come back, FTX is not even there anymore. Then you're saying, what? But if it's in your hard wallet, then you'll be okay. And I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to prepare you, because it could be the case that Coinbase and Binance and all of these things are still here in 20 years. But there's no need to take a risk. There's no need to take a risk with your hard-earned money. So then that's why I encourage you to go to the cold storage wallets. They say not your keys, not your crypto, and they showing us that better than ever. And think about this. FTX is just the latest scam. There's going to be another one in a few years. And you know what time it is, family. It's just a cycle of scammers who just get smarter and smarter, and then they take from everybody else. And then you just have to just let it be. The people who lost all of their money on BitConnect back in the day, they still ain't got their money back, family. It is what it is. There are lawyers who've been paid. There are people high up, politicians who have been paid, who have represented others. But guess what? People didn't get paid, family. And a lot of people involved, they're not in jail. So, hey, protect yourself from these people, family. That's what I got to say with you on that. Larry, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Maybe Mo can. I can't
hear you, Larry. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
I can't hear you.
I was on mute. Sorry, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay, so let's look at this chart for a minute. For those of you, this is the history of crypto, right? And let's just take a look right here. And starting in 2011 until present, right? Look at this. For those of you, Mo, I believe you were in crypto back in here.
I remember Mt. Gox. Yep.
Okay, Mt. Gox. What was that, Mo? That was some sort of scandal that caused
it went out. Everybody lost their crypto, and I think they just started to do a payout, or they're doing a payout from the funds that they were able to get back. And remember that from everybody in FTX right now. Right. It took, I think, 8 years from 2014 when the judge started doing everything to just this year to finally get payouts started. And I'm not even sure they started. 8 years before people had money
Wow.
that they could recover any of it and get a piece of it back before they did. So those have money in FTX or anything else, it could be that long before you get some of it back.
Okay. All right. Now, so let's take a look here.
If ever.
If ever. So let's take a look.
Yeah, if ever.
Now we see this, right? Mo just told you what this was. I wasn't in crypto, but it tanked Bitcoin 96%, right? And then it ran up again, and then we had Bitfinex, right? It tanked crypto, or should I say Bitcoin, 86%. Then we had this, right?
That was BitConnect.
That was BitConnect, right? So BitConnect right here tanked the market another 84%. And then we all know what happened right here. COVID-19, right? And so here we are today with another 77%. Now this is dated, but one of the things I want you guys to see, look at the highest high of the first bull run and look at the lowest low of the crypto winter. The lowest low is still higher than the highest high of the previous bull run. It does it again here. Look at that. It does it again here. Look at that. So what I'm saying to you guys is that we've been here before. We've been here before. And I believe in crypto long term. Now, we differ, the three of us. I don't have any money or any crypto on any platform right now. I believe that just like in the fall, the leaves are falling for those of you that live in the Midwest, right? And, you know, this is going to sound odd, but it's better that all these insolvent companies get shooken out right now during crypto winter. It is better because we don't need a scandal in the next bull run and it takes the market down. We need all these unsovereign companies to just go away, right? And we need a solid foundation. I'm going to continue to say, when you guys hear that stable coin is getting regulated, let's pray that they don't regulate more than that. Once they regulate stable coin dollar per dollar, then that's going to be a signal for Larry to start buying heavy. I'm going to start back DCAing probably after Christmas or the beginning of next year. And because we're in the accumulation stage. And so I believe in crypto long term. I just believe that the tree is still shaking and leaves are still falling. That's it, right? So, hey, we've been on for an hour and 12 minutes. Fidelity, let's talk about Fidelity. Mo, so now I talked to a Fidelity rep and they are getting into crypto. Are you familiar with that, Mo?
I am not, but it doesn't surprise me because their clients are probably begging for that exposure, and they want to do it in a safe way. So they trust Fidelity, they trust some of these legacy financial people, and so that's the next step. I would say the next step.
So for those of you that don't know, Fidelity is a broker that's been around, legacy broker that's been around. It's older than most people listening. I think it's in this over 60
absolutely.
years, right? And so they're getting into crypto. Now, it would not have protected you against the price of Bitcoin falling, but it would have protected you in it being sovereign and the company still there. It would have protected you being able to withdraw your funds, but it would not protect you from the fall of crypto. Neither is it FDIC insured. Now, this is straight from the horse's mouth. I talked to Fidelity. That's my main broker. And I talked to Fidelity and I wanted to get a rep on the phone. And that's what I want you guys to know. It is safe, but the price of your equities your crypto would have failed just the same. You would have just been able to make transactions like you are on Coinbase right now and Binance. And I don't trust Binance like most people do. All right. Hey, what do you want to talk about? Lastly, Mo, and then Kenan, whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah, I'm going to say this to end this up. Folks, we may have a few more weeks, depending on December 13th, how the CPI of this, we'll say a reprieve, a little bit of an enjoyment, seeing some green out there. The good news is the VIX is dropping. Volatility is not going to be as bad. Now, we got volatility today, but it was in a good way, the upside. I always feel like when we break through a normal day and we have some volatility, if it's up, it's really up. And you saw that today with 3 and 4% S&P and the NASDAQ. I believe we still have some good things. If I could leave one piece of advice, look into bonds, my friend. If you don't know what you're going to look into, you're like, where do I buy bonds? What do I do? I just want to buy it on Robinhood or Webull or Moomoo. Just look up B as in Bob, N and D, BND, bond. It's the Vanguard Total Bond Market Index Fund. It's an ETF, and I'll tell you what, it has a 0.1 expense ratio. I'm telling you, I really like it. I think it's a good way for people to get some bond exposure into their accounts if they need it. Every person is unique. Talk to a financial advisor, or you can look into that and do your own due diligence. I have been loading up on it. I plan on having 25 to 40% of my overall entire family's wealth into bonds very, very soon, and a multitude of a bunch of them. But this is one of them that I'll be loading up on. So if you're wondering where I'm putting some of my cash, I'm putting a lot of it in this. So I hope that helps some people out there.
Hey, Kenan. Read this comment, man. I thought you was my boy. You gonna let him talk about me like this? Look at what Josh said.
I can't even see it yet.
No, it's cool.
Open
no, Josh is my dude. That's a good one, Josh. I go on.
Pull that back up for me, Larry.
Josh.
Yeah, I didn't see what it said. I got to the end.
Oh, there you go.
Every morning I hear
I love long streams. Don't ever cut it short. Said we appreciate every second. Every morning I hear Larry say, he said, I'm gonna try to keep it under 10 minutes. He said, nah, I'm like 30
it's a 30-minute drive
to
work.
That's it, man. Because you know what? I love talking to the people, man. They get asked some questions, man. I just answer as many as I can, man. So, hey, listen.
This is what I think. You say exactly what needs to be said and not a word more. This is why you want more. That's how we doing it.
That's it.
You say that's it. You just talking to talk. It gets to be nothing. You say what you need to say, and then let it go. That's how we gonna get it down.
Hey, go ahead and say what you want to say, Kenan.
All right, yeah. So outside of that, listen, you already hear Mo saying, look, he's about to put 45 or so % into bonds. What I want you to do is remember that you're the CEO of your own portfolio. That means that you are the person who's hitting buy. Yeah. You are the person who's hitting sell on these things. This is your money that you went to earn at your job. However, your side hustle, whatever you're doing to bring this money in, it's your job to protect it. Now, that's one thing that people forget is that they get into a mindset of they want to grow it so bad, so fast that they forget their foundation is to protect it. You learn how to protect it. And then on top of that, you build and then you grow it. So let's keep that in mind and let's make money out here.
Hey.
Live, love, laugh, and learn.
Come on, man. Come on. Hey, we all got.
Geez, hold on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Mo.
No, I'm not still. I'll stick to my taglines. You know, if it's too hot in the kitchen, I already hit him with put on the oven mitts. I'm not trying to get you into ETS. Here I am telling him to get into ETS. Maybe it's too hot for me. I got to get out of the kitchen.
Kenan, go ahead, man. Go ahead. Hit him with your sign on, man.
But I gotta live, love, laugh, and learn. I see good people. That's what I got for you.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
That's it.
Hey, I'm just gonna say in closing, man, we generally talk often. We text often, we talk often.
Yeah, we do.
And we, for the people that lost money, I honestly and sincerely pray for you. We lost money too. You heard how much Mo lost. We lost a lot in crypto also. But we're not tapping out. Somebody put in the chat, we not tapping out. I won't tap out. Because this is all the test. Nobody said that the journey was going to be easy, but all we got to do is be steadfast because all of us are on a chase to build generational wealth, man. And so that's what this is all about. That's why I'm going to continue to come on with these fine gentlemen. And you guys know I'm not even going to show you. Go soon as this is over, download the 2 links below. download Moo and download Weeble. Moo is where we are cashing up. I hear Kenan is cashing up over there. Stocks with Josh is cashing up. Larry Jones, we all cashing up on Moo. Somebody got a free share of Apple, $150 of Apple stock, and they only deposited $100. And so go ahead and do that. I got links to both of these gentlemen's page in the description below. You will see both of their links, okay? Make sure you subscribe to both of these gentlemen. You know, hey, man, these guys are going to make you money. That's it. And I'm going to say this while I got y'all. If you got anything negative to say about any one of my brothers, them's fighting words, okay? So,
right.
Hey, you guys, I'm going to tell you
right
now.
My own heart, Larry. You
just going to be blocked because I'm pro Mo and I'm pro Kenan. And I'm loyal to my friends just like I'm loyal to you guys. And so I'm going to ask you guys to do the same. We got some tough days ahead of us. I want you guys to help keep all of our pages clean. If you see somebody coming with some negative garbage on Mo's page, on Kenan's page, and even Stocks with Josh page, shut them down. Say, hey, we ain't got no room for you over here, all right? We're going to leave it right there. We love you guys. Live, love, laugh, and what, Kenan?
And learn.
That's it.
Take
Peace. Take care.
Live, love, laugh, and learn.
That's it.